Hey, welcome to our explainer. Today we're diving into a really fascinating set of texts called the Cartas de Cristo, or Christ's letters. They're a collection of spiritual messages but written specifically for the world we're living in right now.
You know that feeling, right? Just being surrounded by constant noise, endless distractions, and it just pulls you away from any sense of inner peace or real meaning. We're all trying to find a clear signal in all that static.
And that's exactly where these letters come in. The whole idea is that they're a direct modern message. The source even calls it a literary incarnation of Christ's wisdom, designed to make these timeless truths super clear for the challenges we're all facing today. So let's take a look at what that message actually is. So, what are the Christ letters really? Well, they're a collection of messages that are said to have been received through divine inspiration by scribes who remain anonymous. And look, they're not meant to replace any ancient scriptures. The goal is more to harmonize with them, to offer really practical, clear guidance for spiritual growth in the 21st century. What's really striking is where the letters start. They don't just offer you comfort right off the bat. Nope. They immediately challenge some of our most fundamental spiritual ideas, starting with the very concept of faith itself. Yeah, according to letter 1, faith isn't this thing you either have or you don't. It's described as a spiritual muscle, and that completely reframes it, right? It goes from being this passive belief to an active skill, something you can intentionally work on and strengthen with practice, just like you would at the gym. And the letters keep this inward focus going with another pretty radical idea. That traditional concept of some external evil force, it gets totally redefined. Here, the opponent is actually the unchecked human mind, the part of us that operates from fear and creates this illusion that we're separate from the divine. So the battle isn't out there somewhere, it's right inside us. And this reinterpretation of Judas Iscariot is a perfect example of that shift from looking outside to looking inside. Instead of being the ultimate betrayer, he's shown as a friend whose kiss was this desperate, totally misunderstood warning. In this view, Judas becomes a symbol for our own human tendency to create an enemy out there to blame, instead of looking at what's going on inside ourselves. So all of this reframing of evil, of blame, it leads us straight to the absolute core message of the Christ letters. If the problem isn't outside of us, well, then neither is the solution. This right here is the central key to everything. Everything we've talked about so far, faith being a muscle, the opponent being our own mind, it's all pointing to this one single, powerful truth. The letters are really insistent on this. If you can just grasp this one concept, everything else just kind of falls into place. And there it is. That's the heart of the entire philosophy. The kingdom of God isn't some place you go to after you die. It's not an external location at all. It is a state of consciousness, a dimension of reality that exists inside every single one of us, right here and right now. Okay, so once you accept that the power source is internal, the letters give you a kind of blueprint for how this whole thing works. It's not just a nice thought, it's a creative principle. The idea is that you are not a passive victim of your circumstances. You are an active co-creator of your reality. The letters break this down into a really clear, creative process. It all starts with a thought in your mind. That thought then inspires a word, whether you say it out loud or just hold it inside. And when that word is charged up with belief, it actually manifests as your physical reality. This quote from letter 47 just captures it perfectly. It really highlights the incredible power and the responsibility that we all have. The reality we experience, the flesh that dwells beside you, is a direct reflection of the words and thoughts we're growing inside our own minds. So if we are co-creating our reality from the inside out, how do we make sure we're creating from a place of peace and not, chaos? The letters are super clear on this. They offer practical tools for actually cultivating that internal kingdom of God. These are the essential practices. And they're not just moral guidelines. They're described as powerful spiritual technologies for transforming your inner state, which then, in turn, transforms your outer world. Let's take a closer look at one of these. Even the definition of forgiveness in the letters is unique.
According to letter 9, it's not about condoning what someone else did. It's an act of self-liberation. It's about dissolving the energetic chains that are tying you to a past hurt so that you are free to actually live peacefully in the present moment.
The letters also provide these really tangible exercises. This one, for unconditional love, is about actively shifting how you see someone you have trouble with by affirming the divine light that's inside of them. The goal isn't really to change them. It's to train your own mind to see from a place of love.
So when you start to really integrate these ideas, redefining faith, knowing the kingdom is within, in this daily practice of love and forgiveness, the letters suggest that it leads to nothing less than a complete and total transformation of your life.
And this is the ultimate promise. It's the direct answer to that feeling of being lost in the noise that we started with. This journey inward leads you out of a life run by fear and that illusion of being separate, and into a real lived experience of purpose, inner peace, and a conscious partnership with the creative force of the universe. This quote from letter 46 just summarizes the whole theme so perfectly. So often we search for our purpose in the outside world, right? But these texts insist it's not something out there to be found, it's something inside to be awakened. So we'll end with the very question that these letters pose to every single person who reads them. If the creative power of the universe really does reside within you, and it's accessible through your thoughts, your words, and your faith, what could you create? What kind of world, both inner and outer, could you bring into being if you really truly started looking within?